Hey everyone, it's Zach, and today in our episode of Hope for Master Ball, we are going to continue on with the Rain and Virizion team. So we've been seeing decent success with this team overall. My question today is, how many episodes should I use one team? Usually I try to stay between 3 and 5, and then my original team, when I start to rank up at the beginning of a new season, I try to use the same team all the way up until Master Ball and don't switch teams until I've hit Master Ball. But what I want to know is how many episodes do you think a team is good for? Now, we see Mimikyu, Dracovish, Snorlax, Whimsicott, Arcanine, and Indeedee female. So I am worried about a Dracovish lead. I feel like Tailwind could do good here. And I think we can lead. Nothing can change the weather. So I think we can lead Politoed and Kingdra. And then maybe go Togekiss. And I'm worried about the Arcanine, because the Arcanine threatens both Excadrill and Virizion. But I think with the Mimikyu and the Snorlax, I will have to go Excadrill. It's curious, because you see that there is a Trick Room option with the Mimikyu. So here we will see my opponent lead Indeedee and Snorlax. So I think we're going to see a lot of Yawn going on. And maybe Yawn and Follow Me or Yawn and Belly Drum. So right now, because I know I'm probably going to see a Follow Me, the thing I want to do is try to get Snorlax below 50%. I don't know if that would be possible with a Muddy Water, but with Rain, Helping Hand, and Life Orb, it could be. So I want to say that is maybe my best move. And that way, if we do take a Yawn from Snorlax, we can still switch out without losing our Dynamax. So we're going to go ahead and Helping Hand the Kingdra. We'll see the Follow Me come out from Indeedee. And we're going to go ahead and Muddy Water. So we do drop the Snorlax below 50%. It does prop the Berry, so it probably will get a Belly Drum off still. Yes. So we did have the Snorlax burn its Berry. So that was probably the best thing we could have done. So I think here our best bet is to Muddy Water and Helping Hand again. Just do the same thing. And we're actually going to see the Snorlax either Dynamax or Gigantamax. So my opponent here is hoping that the Gigantamax will give it that little extra health it needs to survive another Muddy Water, and hopefully give it a chance to get its berry back. So we're just going to Helping Hand again and get the Muddy Water off. And we are able to get a double knockout on the Indeedee and the Snorlax. We didn't see the Indeedee Follow Me because it knew that Muddy Water was an option, so it was probably just opting for an attack. In a situation like this, it would be really good to have Paris Song on Politoed, but I would rather opt in for the Protect. So here we see, I think here I want to Icy Wind and Draco Meteor into the Dracovish slot to guarantee a knockout. And I am worried that Mimikyu might try to Shadow Sneak or try to get a Fast Fairy move in to do damage to the Kingdra. So we might see a Protect here from the Dracovish. But if it is Protect, we know that it doesn't carry moves like... It's not Bandit in any way, Bandit or Scarfed. So we'll see a Shadow Sneak come out, and the Psychic Terrain will actually protect. And we'll just have a Draco Meteor go out and be able to one-shot this Dracovish. So we're down to the Mimikyu, and then the Icy Wind should pop the Disguise. So we do drop the speed, and we take out the Disguise of the Mimikyu, which is really good. But I think one of the best things that we can do here is just switch out this Kingdra. Because if it does survive another move, I could see a fairy move going into the Kingdra. So we're going to Scald from Politoed to try to get a burn off and just chip it down, which will give Excadrill just the ability to clean up. And my opponent's taking their time. So we're going to see Excadrill switch in, and if there's a fairy move, the Steel types are going to resist it very well. So we'll just see another Shadow Sneak, even though that didn't work the first time. So I'm curious to why my opponent decided to click Shadow Sneak again, unless this Mimikyu does have a band, and we do get the burn off from Scald. So even if this Mimikyu was to choose another attack, after this, its damage is going to be very minimal with the burn. So I think here we can just Icy Wind and Iron Head, and the Iron Head should just take care of the Mimikyu overall. It's curious to see my opponent take so long. Maybe hoping for a disconnect. And we'll see the Shadow Sneak again, even though Psychic Terrain remained up, and Iron Head will just handle the Mimikyu. So I wonder if this Mimikyu is like scarfed or banded in some way. If it lets me see the team, we'll check. And we are actually unable to see my opponent's team, so we will just go on to the next match. Our next opponent is going to be at a 14,000 rating, and we see a Gudra, Talonflame, Indeedee Male, Venusaur, Klefki, and Dragapult. So there's a lot going on with this team. One thing that I do worry about is the priority Tailwind from Braviary, and Venusaur could really threaten this team. So I think here we can just lead Togekiss Kingdra and leave Politoed in the back, so if they try to bring up Weather, we can switch it in. I don't want to bring Virizion because with the Talonflame and the Gudra maybe being Sap Sipper, having a Grass type might not be the best choice. So I think here we keep the Excadrill in the back, because if we're able to take out the Talonflame, there's really not a lot that hits the Excadrill hard. Worst case scenario is that we would see an Earth Power on a Venusaur. But that all counts on how you play your Venusaur. If this is a Gigantamax Venusaur, you would probably opt for Protect over a fourth move. Here we're going to see Klefki and Venusaur. So I think here we can just max Airstream, and I want to get a Follow Me off just in case the Klefki tries to use Paralysis to its advantage. I would go with Hurricane, but that would involve me having to switch the Politoed in to get the 100% accuracy in the rain. So going for the max Airstream helps me ensure that I can Follow Me with the Togekiss to redirect any kind of Prankster that the Klefki wants to do and still hit the Venusaur hard. So we are going to go ahead and see the Venusaur, also Gigantamax. And if we can knock it out before it can use a Vine Lash, that will preserve the chip damage that Venusaur's G-Max move can handle. So we're going to go ahead and see the Follow Me come out from the Togekiss. And we will see the Klefki Follow Me. And we'll have to see if Max Airstream is enough to take out the Venusaur. And this Venusaur is a very bulky one. And we'll see a Max Ooze come out from the Venusaur, probably expecting the redirect. So I think here we Max Airstream again. And do I want a Dazzling Gleam for Chip because that Klefki is probably Sash? But then I could also Airstream for extra damage into the Venusaur. Let's get Chip on this Klefki. This might not be the best choice. And we'll actually see the Sunny Day come up, which is a really good tech from Klefki, allowing the Venusaur to double its speed. And unfortunately, we do lose our Togekiss. And we're just going to Max Airstream again. Having decent damage come out. So I think next I actually want to see the Politoed. And excuse me one moment. Sorry, I had to take a phone call there. As you saw, we were able to still, even though we're paralyzed, we are still able to outspeed the Venusaur with our Kingdra because we have Max Airstream so many times. The Dragapult, though, that's a different situation. I think here we may see a Sunny Day come out. So here I just kind of want to protect, and I want to switch back in the Exadrill because I want to say we see another Sunny Day come out from this Klefki. So we have to preserve this Politoed so we can switch it back in if needed. The protect will also help. And we get a para with Kingdra. So we'll probably see a Dragon Darts come out from the Dragapult, which will do a lot of damage against this Kingdra. So there's the Dragon Darts. And Excadrill handles that pretty well. But Kingdra does not. So I think here with Kingdra being so low, we want to try to hit it. So we're going to switch in Politoed to see if we can still outspeed it. We are +3, even though we're paralyzed. So the +3 should neutralize the Thunder Wave. And as long as we don't get paralyzed, we might be able to outspeed the Dragapult. And we do land the Draco Meteor. So as long as this Dragapult's not scarfed, we should be able to knock it out. And it is scarfed. Not scarf, it has a focus sash. So we will lose our Kingdra here. And we'll see a Dazzling Gleam come out from this Clef Key, which actually does really good damage against the Politoed. That does mean that this Clef Key is not scarfed, is not sashed, I mean. So I think here we just want to protect with the Politoed and Rock Slide. The Dragapult will outspeed us, but hopefully with our Excadrill being Assault Vest, it will handle a hit from this Dragapult. And we'll actually see a Phantom Force come out. So that does minimal damage on the Excadrill. And I want to say you're aiming for the Excadrill with Dragapult. So here I want to go ahead and just Icy Wind and High Horsepower into the Clef Key. And we survive on 1. Oh, and we pop a berry. We will take out this Dragapult with Icy Wind though, as long as Politoed survives. And we do take out the Dragapult. And we'll get some leftovers recovery. So here we see the Talonflame in the back. And I actually just kind of want to protect to try to get some more life, some more leftovers recovery. But this Talonflame is just probably going to keep clicking Brave Bird until it knocks me out. Yeah. So with Gale Wings, Brave Bird becomes priority. So here I just want to try to Scald into the Talonflame and see how much damage that does. We'll probably get knocked out by a Brave Bird. Yeah. So I kind of figured that. So let's get one more battle in for this episode and see how we can do. I just want to say, like last match, I just got the worst possible lead. I think in that situation, like Virizion would have done okay, especially the fact that I would have probably gotten a beat up off and been able to max Airstream, but how much damage is Max Ooze doing? That's my question. So here we see Venusaur with Sun, as well as Rillaboom, Mimikyu, and Drifblim and Milotic. So this is a tough one because you could lead Rillaboom and do a lot of damage to a potential Kingdra, or you could lead Torkoal Venusaur. So I want to do the same thing again where I want to lead Kingdra and Togekiss. That way I can switch in Politoed if we do see the Torkoal Venusaur lead. And X-Drill does really bad against a Milotic. So I think for that, like, we do have to keep the Virizion in the back, even though we won't have access to beat up. So up front, we'll see Rillaboom and Venusaur. And the thing is, if you switch in Torkoal turn 1, and we switch in Politoed turn 1, we will actually lose out on our rain. So here I just kind of want to... I just want to follow me and max Airstream. Because if we see a Pokemon switch out, it will probably be the Rillaboom. So targeting that Venusaur is probably one of the best things we could do. And then once the Venusaur is gone, there's really no reason other than weather control. And here we will see the Torkoal. So we'll probably see a Gigantamax from the Venusaur. And this way we can just switch in Rain the next turn. We may lose our Togekiss depending on what move they choose. So we'll go ahead and see the Gigantamax Venusaur, and probably see a Vine Lash come out in, or a Max Ooze come out into the Togekiss slot. But turn 2, I would have to say we switch our Politoed in. Which is why leading Togekiss instead of Politoed is sometimes like one of the best choices you can make, because it gives you the option to bring Rain if you need it and save it in the back for a situation like this where they're bringing their weather in to try to cancel out yours. So they do predict the follow me. So I wonder if this Venusaur is as bulky as the one we just previously faced. And it doesn't seem so. We will see some recovery from the grassy terrain from both of our Pokemon. Because I think Max Airstream is probably the best. Well, I think we have to Max Airstream even though we're switching in Politoed. Because we could just see a switch out of the Torkoal and then the Venusaur Max Guard. But even then, we're burning more turns of Gigantamax from this Venusaur. And there we go. We see the Max Guard. And the longer we can keep it from using the Vine Lash, the better. So we'll go ahead and see an eruption, and in the rain against these two water type Pokemon, this actually does pretty well. We'll see leftovers recovery and grassy terrain recovery on both of our Pokemon. So Politoed actually does really well in this matchup. So here I just want to max Airstream again. And I want to say one of the best things we could do is probably Scald. It's going to hit the Torkoal really hard, and if the Torkoal decides to switch out into a Rillaboom, we could potentially get a burn on it. So we're actually going to see Venusaur withdraw. So if you're bringing in Rillaboom, you probably sack it off. So we'll probably see the next Pokemon, and it will be Milotic. And we'll actually see the Rillaboom. So one of the best things that could happen here is that we'll see a burn in the Rillaboom. And we actually do get the burn, so that's going to minimize Rillaboom's damage. This Rillaboom is still like a threat though. So I think here I want a Hurricane and actually switch out into the Virizion. That way we can preserve rain against this Torkoal and hopefully hit Milotic very hard with a Leaf Blade. So Rillaboom's going to go ahead and use Fake Out. And we'll see an Ice Beam, which is going to do good damage to the Kingdra. I think here we want to maintain our game plan because we don't want to give Milotic any accuracy or speed drops because that will probably just bring up a competitive boost. So we're just going to Leaf Blade into the Milotic slot and our Hurricane into the Rillaboom. And we'll see a Glassy Glide come out, which I'd have to say if Rillaboom wasn't burned, we probably wouldn't have survived that. And we actually are able to take out the Milotic. So the grassy terrain will disappear. Does that mean Rillaboom no longer gets priority on Grassy Glide? I think here we should just protect and bounce onto this Venusaur. So we're going to see Rillaboom go back. And we'll see a Protect from Kingdra. I did this to try to bait. So you go ahead and knock out the Virizion. Okay. So here I just want to bring in Politoed. And we'll see a drizzle go off. And we've already seen the Venusaur protect. I actually want to Hurricane into the Torkoal slot and Icy Wind. Okay, so that was a good call because we see Rillaboom come back out. It's going to bring up grassy terrain. And we'll see the Venusaur protect. So we made the best call possible. It was really obvious that the Venusaur was going to protect. And we're just able to knock out the Rillaboom. And now what we do here is we protect with the Kingdra. And we switch the Politoed out to get weather control through the rest of this match. So we'll see the Torkoal come out, the sun will come. And we're going to go ahead and protect here. And switch back in this Togekiss. Now my opponent could predict this and double up into the Politoed slot, but this will still give us a chance to bring Rain back up and also get some grassy terrain recovery on Kingdra. So we'll go ahead and see the protect. And I want to see what my opponent wants to do. So we're gonna Sludge Bomb into the Togekiss slot. And then we'll probably see a Solar Beam or an Eruption come out from Torkoal. So here we bring back in Politoed, and we get the Rain back up, and we'll be able to control the weather for the rest of the play. So here I want a Hurricane and actually Scald. I think the worst thing possible would be if this Torkoal was Focus Sash. And we haven't seen a Sash on the team yet. But this is going to force the Venusaur to protect. And maybe even the Torkoal protect as well, just to see what I want to do. And it's actually just going to let us get a Scald off. And we're able to take out the Torkoal. And get some more leftovers recovery. So here I'm going to just Hurricane one more time. And we'll Icy Wind as well. So we're going to go ahead and use Hurricane. This should be enough to take out the Venusaur and seal up the match. Yeah. So with Torkoal being on the team, we definitely had to play that more defensively with our weather, where we had to lead with the Togekiss. And honestly, that was one of the best options we could have gotten, because to be able to redirect Venusaur's attack really helped out, and then forcing the Venusaur to switch and burn the rest of its Dynamax or Gigantamax was really good. That Rillaboom was really scary, but a good prediction and a very obvious prediction helped us seal in that match. So it definitely would have been different if that turn that Torkoal switched out that we would have tried to attack into the Venusaur, but when we've been playing basically the same pattern of protecting and using weather, it was very obvious. But let me know what you thought about the battles. Don't forget to answer my question that I asked in the beginning. How many battles or how many episodes do you think I should use one team for? I've been doing between 3 and 5, and the main reason why I'm asking that is because my next team isn't ready yet. So I've been working on that, but I've just been taking some time and really playing more casually when I'm not recording the videos. But the best way that you can show support is by commenting down below, answering the question, and liking and subscribing. Anyways, I'm Zach, and I'll see you guys in the next one.